But do you see a scenario where the Europeans can flood the zone enough with anti-air and with additional artillery equipment and supplies, enough to keep Ukraine in the running here, to stress Putin further? Because Russia has been economically beaten to hell because of this. And it looks like the Europeans are about to snatch $200 billion of oligarch money and give it to Ukraine. Do you see a scenario where Ukraine survives this thing?
Well, it depends on what you mean by survives, Rick. Will there be? I think if Putin has his way, Ukraine, I hate using air quotes, but survives by as a kind of rump state, right?
Sure.
Shorn of a partitioned state that Putin then says, see, this isn't really a state. This is just the remnants of a state. And once we're rested up, we're just going to keep going. And then Kiev really will fall and we'll just incorporate this. And it'll be, Russia, Belarus, and Ukraine back in the family the way it should always have been. I think, could the Europeans flood the zone and do this? Maybe, but we have to engage in some dynamic modeling here.
Sure.
What will they be doing while the United States is engaging in all kinds of mischief on the other side? I mean, can we keep up the pressure? And I wrote about this about a month ago when I said, we're letting our boot off the neck of the Russians right at the time they need a break.
Yeah.
Economically, we're not even over there fighting. We're giving the Ukrainians the tools to do what they need to do. And we're using the tools at our disposal in the international economy to keep the Russians, in a fairly precarious economic situation. But it doesn't help if the Europeans apply pressure on one end and the Americans do everything they can on the other to let it out on the other end. The Putin is not going to fall. Of course, that's always something you say about a dictator, and then the next day he falls. But there's no indication right now that Putin's in an unstable situation.